What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the data points, what shorts are doing, and what's really been influencing NIO. So I want to go over all of that, but first make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So NIO did have a pretty kick-ass day yesterday, went up 4.8%, extending that a little bit further this morning, 0.25%, so nothing too crazy, but then again, given the fact that NIO has been up 10.67% over the last 5 days, 0.25 isn't all that bad. So yeah, I think NIO is making some pretty good improvements on a technical standpoint. I saw some posts on social media saying that NIO is improving because of the Firefly, and I kind of, as much as it might be a good asset for Europe, but I don't see NIO moving higher because of that. Rather, it's just because of the whole kind of tariff negotiations that's occurring between the States and China. So again, I could be wrong. What do I know in life? But at the end of the day, I think that this is a very big deal. Even negotiating with China has really moved, or with the EU has really moved NIO higher in the past. As I've explained, this going over here, this secondary bump from roughly $5 to about $7.50, that was because of the EU essentially dropping the tariffs. It was kind of short-lived, but nonetheless, that goes to show exactly how and what does influence NIO. So it's more geopolitical, not necessarily operational, but there was a couple of things that did come out. So one of which is this right here. So NIO's Firefly brand is going to be available in 16 countries by the end of the year, and one of them is going to be Portugal. So as I've mentioned, Firefly is going to be very big for Europe, just based on the price point, size, and everything else. Just it'd be advantageous if China and the EU do come to some sort of resolution for the tariffs prior to that, and maybe that is why NIO is choosing that kind of time frame, so by the end of this year, because this also came out ultimately yesterday, I think it was, and it's just saying that the Firefly launch in Europe is going to be in Q3. So I think they are pausing for some of that negotiations. So like I said, I think that's a very big deal for the broader market and for NIO, Chinese EVs, and everyone else. Shorts aren't really doing all that much so far this morning. 14.05% of the free float is being shorted, so shorts have definitely returned quite a lot. Even yesterday, they did return about 2.5 million shares. My apologies on not doing a NIO video. Life was relatively busy yesterday, but for those of you that ever want to know, I always post these after the market does close under my YouTube channel, or under Twitter, and that's Financial Journey, Fin Journey. So I go over a lot of those stocks that I've been kind of either watch or I do cover. So yeah, shorts did return 2.5 million shares yesterday, so most likely that could continue into today as well. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Based on the options, some of the options that was done yesterday, you see a consensus for it to be above 4, and for the week ending May the 16th for it to be roughly around that 450 to 5. So definitely a lot more upside is anticipated. Bears on the other side are anticipating for it to be sub 350. So honestly, a lot more upside is anticipated based on all of that. And dark pool, as per usual, has been fairly active, so just anticipate shorts to be using that exchange to kind of return some shares, with it right now at $3.93, trading between this pivot and this S1. So yesterday it was kind of in this no man's land, didn't really touch either point. So 429 is going to be the next strong target, and then 356 is going to be the next strong support. No actual recent ratings. So last one did come out roughly 2 weeks ago, 350 hold, and that was done by Mizuho. So most likely, I think NIO is somewhat overdue for some new ratings, especially given the recent kind of points that have come out between China and the States. I think it would justify some, obviously some new ratings, and most likely some bullish ones. But as a consensus, currently analysts are seeing $4.86 as a fair price. And so that's over the last 3 months on a side note, all the ratings, and that does represent a 23.66% upside. So definitely NIO is seen as a pretty good discount for all extensive purposes. But on the actual chart as well, just to pop over there, a couple key things to really watch for. 50-day moving average is at $4.19, and then $4.30 is that 100-day moving average. So those ones will be key for NIO for it to continue this very nice push higher, but baby steps. I think given what happened with NIO, it was largely unjustified, but even on the other side, if you are one of those individuals that believes in the gap needs to be filled, that could put it roughly around that $4 range, which is exactly at that 50-day moving average. So I think just a lot of individuals even yesterday were kind of assuming that yesterday's green day was just a bull trap, because a lot of this between that was posted on what the states is going to be doing with China, nothing was fully confirmed, just estimates. But once it does come out and we get the rubber thumb or the green light or whatever the hell you want to call it, say that, yeah, obviously tariffs are going to be reduced down to 35%, and then potentially the national security ones tied to that is going to be 100+%, then yeah, the market will definitely act and push a lot of Chinese stocks higher, and probably just generally the broader market as well. So just take note of some of these, like I said. So it's a very frustrating stock to own because logic doesn't really, it's just all over the place. But that being said, shorts returning is always a positive thing when it comes down to NIO. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up if there is some crazy updates during the trading day, and then I'll do a PM video. But yeah, I think today seems to be a pretty good day. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Give yourself a shout out if you've been buying, if you've been selling, and what you've been doing. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point, so definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.